ladies and gentlemen, and everyone, thank you for coming to this this meeting of the District Delegate Assembly. Would you please, if you have your cell phones in the ring mode, turn them down or turn them off, just so we don't have any interruption. This is going to be shot and broadcast over Channel 97, so we'd like it to be as good as it can possibly be. We'll call this meeting to order, and would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and the first order of business is to review and approve the minutes from the January meeting. Does anyone have a comment?
I move that we accept the minutes from the January meeting.
The motion has been moved and seconded. Is anyone opposed? Okay, it passes. Okay, this is a little time that I take to talk to everyone, and I'm going to use part of that time to tell you, first of all, I'm not overly contagious. I know it looks like I descended back into 2022, but I'm actually just on the last end of a cold, and I don't want anybody to get infected, so I'm all masked up. I want to now turn to Marcia. She's going to give us an update on something I think everybody will find healing.
Thank you. Just wanted to give everyone an update about Randy Robbins. As we speak, he is in surgery, receiving a double transplant of a liver and a kidney. So that's great news. He went in at 6 a.m. this morning, and it could be a 12-hour surgery, but the last update is he's doing well. His vitals are good, so everybody please keep him in your prayers. Thanks, Cal.
And thank you, God. I'd also like to welcome Tammy Alexander from District 16 and Troy Cosmore from District 8. They're alternates. They're sitting in for their delegates today, and we welcome them. The pending change to Compass Hospitality as the provider for food and beverage amenity will introduce another form of software to the organization. And because of that, until we see how it actually integrates with our current web platform, the holding an ad hoc committee to work on website issues is kind of meaningless until this work has been performed. So we're going to put that on hold. We'll put that on a hiatus until at a later time we think it's relevant that it comes back. But I hope that the changes come are everything we expected and more. I'd like to thank the administration and the master board on part of the whole community for including the EPAP evacuation plan. It's an expense they didn't have to incur, and we're glad that they did. You can never be overly prepared for a major disaster. The election cycle brings with it the annual candidate forum that the District Delegate Assembly sponsors, and for that purpose, I will ask 5 delegates to be part of the group, the committee that reviews questions and participates during the forum. We hope that every year to make it just a little bit better, have better balance in both topics and performance, but we're going to try to make it a little better if we can all the time. If you're interested in participating in particular, let me know. If not, I'll be talking to you. And since we're also in that election cycle, just a little reminder for everybody to try to stay impartial in conversations and in what you put out there. It's kind of important because you are in a position that has a megaphone, and try to remain impartial. And that's all I have. So we'll move on from that to our guest speakers. First one is Candace Jenkins here from the EPAP Exec Committee.
Good afternoon, delegates, administration, and fellow residents. Today, I want to talk about the importance of all EPAP volunteers understanding and following the EPAP volunteer guidelines. I think of the EPAP manual as a blueprint for what we do in an emergency. This blueprint helps to manage and organize the chaos that we will all be experiencing. FEMA and other emergency organizations have set up CERT as a training for how to best search and help residents in our community. All the volunteers need to work in unison to achieve these goals. If we do not understand the policies and procedures, we will add to the chaos. I want to read some of the excerpts from the charter, our charter, which was approved by the board in 2017. Article 10, Section 1 of the Sun Lakes Country Club Homeowners Association bylaws provides that the Master Board of Directors has the authority to appoint an emergency preparedness organization, whereas the Master Board has determined that the best interest of the members of the association would be served by an establishment of an emergency preparedness organization for the purpose of managing potentially catastrophic emergency situations in the Sun Lake Country Club area. Advanced preparation and training is emphasized at all levels of the association. The residents, district delegates, organization operations staff, management, and the master board. The organization will follow and implement, I'll get it right eventually, a detailed written plan, which is an operational concept that creates an organization of trained volunteers for the purpose of managing potentially catastrophic emergency situations in the Sun Lakes Country Club. The Emergency Preparedness Action Plan is approved in advance by the Master Board and incorporated herein. The organization includes the executive team, functional unit management and staff, facilities management, direct personnel including district delegate, EPAP coordinators, medical rescue teams, zone captains, program managers, and their alternates. All organizations and other Sun Lakes Country Club residents acting in good faith in a volunteer capacity during an emergency are specifically exempt from liability under the California law, which is the Good Samaritan statute. All organization personnel and volunteers supporting the Sun Lakes Country Club Emergency Preparedness Action Plan are protected under the Director and Officer's Liability Clause of the Sun Lakes Country Club HOA insurance policy that addresses such issues as personal injury, slander, and false arrest. For the reasons I've mentioned, it is important that each team member understand their responsibility during an emergency and that all of the positions work together with the same understanding of their responsibilities. Any questions? I just want to also let everyone know on Thursday, February 13th, we will be having an EPAP 101, and we will be going over the evacuation plans that we have sent out. Also, we want to thank the quilting club for making our triangular bandages. Thank you. Yeah, that was very nice.
Thank you, Candace. And next on the list of speakers would be Michelle Walter.
Don't start my time just yet. I have a question. Cal, I see that you have me down for community awareness, and I thought it was under for Welcome Home. Do you want me to do the Welcome Home now, or do you want me to do community awareness now and do Welcome Home later?
Later?
Do Welcome Home later?
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. So then we will do community awareness. Good afternoon, district delegates. Michelle Walter. I wanted to let you know that we are having a FireWise presentation on March 4th. Just to give you a little information, Sun Lakes is trying to become a FireWise community. The FireWise USA program provides collaborative framework for neighbors to reduce wildfire risk at the local level. The National Recognition Program's annual criteria is designed to empower and engage residents in living in wildfire-prone areas with a plan and actions that can increase their home's chances of surviving a wildfire, while also making it safer for firefighters. Excuse me. There are several steps needed to become a Firewise community. Gary Lyle, Anne Marie Hanko, Brian O'Grady, and myself are the liaisons for our community. We have divided our community into 4 sections. This program may help us in lowering the cost of our insurance policies. We need volunteers to get this program started. If you are interested in being part of this, you can contact me, 951-202-8009. Again, we're having this presentation on March 4th, and I do encourage everybody to come. I'm going to have a flyer going out. It's Tuesday, March 4th at 1 o'clock. Joseph Kennedy is the fire captain, land use and planning program, and he's going to give us all the information that we need. Thank you. Yes, it'll be in the ballroom. Firewise.
Okay, if there are no more questions for Michelle, we will move to Barbara Searcy, who is here to talk about a program that's near to her heart called All Is Well.
Is that right? Okay. The All Is Well program is one that where I put people together to communicate with each other, to assure the caller that all is well. We have volunteers who make the call, who need to talk to someone who is willing to donate an hour or so every day just to listen. When I put the people together, it's up to them whether they want to expand that communication to a friendship, which is what happened with the Walters. They have a deep and endearing relationship now with the lady that I put them in touch with. I encourage the volunteer to be ready to make a telephone call to the person who needs to be in touch and touched on a daily basis. They work out between the two of them what time of the day they need to get in touch with each other every day, and that I leave it up to them to make further communication. What I do is interview the volunteer and the lady or gentleman who needs the call, and then I determine how the personalities work with each other, with my volunteers, and put them in touch with each other. Is that clear?
Yeah, that is clear.
Yes.
Hi, Barbara. Good to see you again. I remember when I talked to you, it's been several months, and I had a woman in my district that was looking for somebody, just as you're talking about here. But at that time when I talked with you, you said you didn't have any volunteers. Has that
correct.
gotten better?
That's the way it is.
Okay.
Since COVID, interest has really diminished, and it's a shame. But I am limited on volunteers.
So you haven't gotten any more people willing to, okay, that's what I wanted to make sure. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
And also people seem hesitant to call who need the assistance. So there's been a real breakdown.
Thank you.
Barbara, thank you very much. I didn't know Barbara really until she came to make this presentation, but I found out quite a bit about her just by talking to Bob and hearing his experiences, and I was quite touched by them. I think you do a very good service.
Yes, I would like to add on to that. I would encourage anybody that had interest and had a few minutes every day that was concerned about others to volunteer and participate in this program. I know I did about 4 years ago, And I've been calling Jan, who's on there for every day. And sometimes it's not always at 8 o'clock like it's supposed to be, but every day. And you know, it's you talk to somebody every day. It's kind of like family now. And she no longer lives here, but she's in assisted living, but I still call her every day. So it's a great program, and I would encourage people to participate in it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Also, if you don't know this about Barbara, she's done just about every job you can do at Sun Lakes. She's really a dynamo. Thank you for that work, too. We'll now have Mary Flynn from the Sun Lakes Playhouse.
Well, delegates, thank you for letting us speak about the Playhouse today. As you may know, we are having our next show, Travel Club Capers, is coming up in March, so you may have already seen some advertising. If you need to buy a ticket, Troy's in the show. So, oh, there you are, Kate's in the show. Oh, and Anita, too. All right, so we have a few delegates that you can purchase tickets. They're $15, and the show is March 13th to the 16th, I'm sorry. And I'm just going to send around this little flyer so you all have my phone number and email and the website in case you have any questions. I do want to let you know that as delegates, you can help support the Playhouse and the 50 different performers and staff people that we have running our technical crew. So obviously somebody in your district is in our show. And so your support of them is really important to our community. Not only the actors themselves, but the shows that we put on are very entertaining and very reasonable for a theater production here in the community. This script that we're doing now is an original production. Myself and a team of writers wrote the script. And we're featuring, as we usually do in a That's Entertainment show, Makua Hula and international dancers, singers from the karaoke club. So we support groups across our community, not just Playhouse by itself. And here's a good example of how you can help. This flyer that I sent to my district delegate, Jean right over here, Dobson, she put it in her newsletter. If you can put it in the newsletter, not only is it helping Playhouse, but I also added Friendship Club on this flyer and the international dancers that have a show coming up in April. So I'm trying to build community across the performing arts and within our whole community in general to support each other and all our events. So this way helps you save a little bit of paper because you don't need 3 different flyers from each of these organizations, but you get one flyer that supports several different projects going on. And so your help and appreciation, I'm going to try and get the email list from the group here. Who would I get that from? Cal, thank you. So I will send you a flyer like this. If you need something smaller, a half-page one, I can send you that. And I can send you just some text if you want to just drop that into your newsletter. So whatever you need, I'm here to provide so that you can support the arts here in Sun Lakes. Thank you.
Before she scoots away, do we have any questions for Mary? Okay, we'll move on. Next on the agenda would be a food and beverage report, and usually that's Chris, but it looks like it's going to be Jason today.
Good afternoon. Yes, thank you, Cal. Chris was unable to make it, so I will be stepping in. Really want to go over just the upcoming events for food and beverage. Obviously, I don't have to talk about it, but this weekend's a big event. But we are going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the Super Bowl party, or the big game party, I should say. copyright issues and all. But there's a lot of things going on. First, biggest thing is squares. I know this is something I've gotten questions about from residents. So, isn't this gambling? How are we able to do this? Blah, 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 blah. Yes, we are. If you guys remember resident John Trakler, and he did a presentation. I think he did it here as well as at the master board meeting. I worked with him, and we worked with multiple departments within the state, the DOJ, Senator Bo's office, Ochoa Bo's office, the ABC out in the desert, and over a little over a year span, got to the point to where we can do things like this as long as. And those things are as long as, like the squares. People say, well, why can't I pre-buy them? Well, that goes against one of the rules that we have to do. You have to be there. You have to be present. It's got to be your name. You are the one, there's all these stipulations that we have to follow to make this legal for us, and that's what we are doing. So that day, Super Bowl, squares will start be selling at 1 o'clock. You do have to be present to purchase those. You have to be present to claim your money. If your grandchild would like a square, you can't put their name down. It's got to be your name. Okay, it's got to for you, for the resident. That's one of the stipulations that everything we do here, 50/50s, raffles, squares, things like this, and it has to be by our residents, for our residents only. So the association, even though it's being broadcasted, and put flyers out there, it won't actually be a staff member running the squares. It's got to be a club, a group, a district, a committee. It's got to be something other than an association person running this event. That's the first stipulation. Like I said, second is you have to be present. Third, it's all got to go back to you guys. So I can't take some of this money and save it to donate to an outside charity. It's got to go to residents. Like I say, the residents got to purchase it, the residents got to get the money back. So it's just those things that allow us to do this. Just for anybody who has questions out there, like I said, I have received multiple on how are we doing this, because a lot of them remember multiple years back when we had an issue with the BOE and the ABC and everything coming in here. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So we are legal with doing this, so there's no worry there. Also that day, there's going to be a lot of food specials. I hope you guys have seen the flyers there. Wings, pizza, a salad bar, potato bar, all those type of things are going to be there. Also drink specials. There's going to be $2 off wells, $2 off of drafts, $2 off of house wines. So a lot of specials going on. There's also specialty drinks that Angel has made for that day as well. So I hope you guys come by and check it out. So it'll be in the Sandwedge starting at 1 p.m. So like again, squares, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., just that 2-hour period. And you are limited. Yes, thank you, Linda. Limited to 3. They're $5 a piece. There's only 100, so I want to limit it. If need be, if nobody else is buying and people want to buy more after people have got some, we can open it up and sell more. But we're going to start with 3 to limit it at first. That'll be in the Sandwedge. Other than that, the Valentine's Day menu is out, so I hope you guys see that. Check that out. There's a lot of great meals on there, and I believe some pairings as well, so with wine. So make sure you check that out. Should be a good menu that Chef had put together. Any questions? Marsha? Yeah, yes, you definitely are. Reservations, yes. Marsha suggested reservations. I would definitely suggest calling as well. One other big thing I know you guys have seen, if you've been looking up here on the side screens, Hernan's been showing a lot of things. In about an hour, Thursday happy hour starts. So that is new. I hope you guys have seen that. So happy hours start today. Happy hours start Tuesday as well. So next week it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Same times as it is on Wednesday. Wednesday will still be the only day that you will have the entertainment. Okay. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
That's what he said.
Happy hour hours are still the same. Yep, same as they are on Wednesdays.
Yeah, so they're both there.
Anything else?
Everybody has that.
Yes. Yep, the Food and Beverage Facebook page that Lee Stone has put together, it's all on there. Everything is on there about it. So make sure you check that out. She is putting a lot of work into that to get that going. So please make sure you check it. That's the Food and Beverage Facebook page. All right. Thank you. And I will probably, Cal, do you want us to stay here?
Might as well.
All righty. All right, recreation. Coming up, we got a lot of events coming up, you guys. First biggest one is this weekend. We have the O Canada concert. We have over 350 tickets sold, so that's great. If you haven't gotten a ticket yet, make sure you do. We can go up to 500, so there's 150 left. It will be theater seating, yes. Now, something different this year, thanks, Michelle, is the Recreation Committee. If you guys remember, Friendship Club goes through this. They number the seats. Recreation Committee is going to do the same, and they're going to try that and see how that goes. So seats are numbered. I remember back in the day when I'd have a concert start at 7 p.m., doors open at 6, I'd have somebody sitting out there about 11 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully we can avoid that. Next thing coming up is the craft fair. It is 2 days this year, so the spring is moving to 2 days. We did have a resident go around, ask people we got, and took it to the board with their concerns and what they would like to see. The board did approve some things for the craft fairs, both the spring and the fall, but one of the big things was that the spring would move to 2 days, and then the fee structure would be a one fee for both days. So a little bit of changes, but always a great event. I know our residents work very hard on putting the things together for that. So I hope you guys stop by that. Again, that's March 21st and 22nd, Friday and Saturday. That'll be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the ballroom here. Next thing, April Switchback Concert. It's been a couple years since they've been here, but every time they're here, they always get rave reviews. Great group. They're going to be here on April 4th. It'd be $15. It's kind of like an Irish heritage and Midwestern kind of country root type band. $15 a ticket. Again, 500 max. The seating will be assigned, just like we are going to do with this one here. And show starts at 7. Doors will open at 6. All right, finally, the health fair to end out April. Health fair will be April 25th. Always a great free event to come to. There's always going to be like blood pressure screening. A lot of times they'll do bone density screening. Great thing to come out and check. That'll be April 25th, be 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's always hosted by the Visiting Nurses Association. If you know anybody that would like to be part of that, any vendors or if you see anybody that's any in the health and wellness industry, you can have them contact myself or Linda and we can get them in touch with the VNA. Again, that'll be the 25th of April. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Mic on. Can we get an updated rec list?
Yes, you know what I'll do, I will have Linda send one to me. I will send it to Cal, and Cal, if you can distribute that out.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
It's always good to have something like that to back up.
Not a problem.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? All right, thank you very much.
No, you get to stay there. Yep. Got another 5 minutes. This one's supposed to be messages from the administration. Oh, Board of Directors first.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
he's next, right?
I can't follow. I can't follow.
There we go.
Sorry, Bob.
Good afternoon. Proud to be here with you all. It's the first time I've had a chance to sit up here with the board. December and January was a very exciting and surprising period for the board and our residents. One of the things that we're very proud of, the board has come together and unanimously approved contracting with our hospitality company, Compass. We're very excited about that. We've done an extensive due diligence to make sure that we're doing the best we can as far as making a decision. And right now, it's in the hands of our attorneys figuring out how to finalize the language. We're still hoping to start on April 1st with that program. And as soon as this contract is signed and the attorneys get out of the way, we will schedule a town hall so all residents can get a chance to meet them, hear what they have planned, and ask questions. So that's what's coming on with Compass Hospitality. We're very excited. We also received another surprise that our janitorial service decided to cease operations, and we were pushed into having to make a decision very quickly on what we're going to do to keep the community and the buildings clean and maintained. So management went out in a pretty quick way and got proposals from two cleaning services, and we contracted with Calico Building Services effective January 17th. And that contract is at $255,000, which was amazing. We're actually saving $80,000 over our prior vendor, so that was quite an accomplishment. The other surprise that we got towards the end of December is our HOA insurance premiums unexpectedly increased by $156,000. One thing that we're trying to do, this is going to be a major focus for the board going forward. We don't want to be surprised next year because we're probably pretty sure we are going to get surprised with another increase. So we're requesting and seeking volunteers who might have insurance brokerage experience to assist the board with next year's budget and to try to look at different options of how we can avoid another massive increase. We could be looking at self-insurance. We have no idea. So we're asking for residents' help that has experience in that area. And if you are interested and have that experience, please give Gary Burkle or Bob Walter a call or an email so we can get that team going. It's going to be very important for all of our HOA costs. And the Board of Directors election has 6 applicants. I think you've probably seen all the flyers out on the table in the lobby. But those running are Gary Burkle, Joe Ganino, Sandra Gutnick, Howard Katz, Mary Jo McElwain, and Gladys Sue Savage. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Bob.
Thank you. The board is still in negotiations with Spectrum and Frontier regarding our TV and internet services. The Spectrum contract expires in August, and our attorney is working very hard to obtain the optimal door fee and services for our community. So far it looks like we'll be getting a favorable contract within the next few months. The board has an ad hoc working group that is researching possible ways to increase revenue for the golf courses. We're meeting monthly to present recommendations to the board. It is not recommending the golf courses be open to the public, just ways of increasing some revenue in preparation for next year's budget. Then one last, and then we'll have answer questions you may have. Sun Lakes Charity Week is coming up June 3rd through the 8th and needs volunteers to make it happen. It's a week-long celebration full of events such as happy hour, pancake breakfast, monster scramble, music on the veranda, the Pro-Am, and more. If you'd like to get involved, please contact Beverly Simmons, 909-996-8569 is their phone number. But Beverly's around, you'll see her on an ongoing basis. The next volunteer meeting is Friday, February 14th, 3 p.m. at the North Clubhouse. There will be Valentine treats for all that attend. Yes, any questions?
The time for that meeting has been changed from 3 p.m. to 1 p.m.
Thank you.
B?
Yes, B.
Do you happen to know, would you happen to have the names of the people on the ad hoc committee for the golf?
Yes. If you have any suggestions or anything that you would like to assist, you can give it to either Judy Jones, Ron Smith, myself, Beverly, Mike Callahan, Ron Varner, and David Goldstein, our pro. So it's an extensive group, and we've already had two meetings. The main thing is that we're looking to come up with some proposals to present to the board before we do the budget preparation for next year. So it's not an immediate thing. It's a long-term goal, and we're working to make sure next year we don't have any shortcomings in those areas. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll go back to Jason Ford and notes from the administration.
Thank you, Cal. Be quite honest, it's the board's update is pretty extensive. Really what admin's working on right now is the election process. We're working on getting, we'll be pulling the members of record next week. So once we have that, we'll start getting that over to the Inspector of Elections, working on getting your ballots out. Also, admin is, even though 2024 came to an end, admin's still working on closing out the year. So we're working with the auditors to go through the audit and get that finalized as well. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Okay, from there, time for announcements from our district delegates. And Barbara, would you care to start?
I don't really have anything going on in my district. By the way, Barbara Elnes, District 1. But I do wonder if we could get an explanation of these items that were placed at our spot. I'm assuming I give that to my EPAP coordinator, but just in case she doesn't know what it is, if you could tell me.
Those are triangular bandages for supporting an arm injury, and they go in your EPAP bins.
Okay. And the rest of this is just... There's other items too.
And an updated list of supplies. Any other questions?
Okay, your turn.
Loretta Kuzar, District 2, and I would like to say Happy New Year to everyone, and it's good to be back.
Good afternoon, everyone. Jim Nichols, District 3. I have a few topics, please. Number one, my district is completing the Fill the Cupboard this week. And on the 13th, we'll be delivering our food items to the Banning Senior Center. And I want to thank everybody that contributed in my district. Very, very generous indeed. My second issue, February 11th, we're having a love and friendship dinner at the South Clubhouse. It's Valentine's, right? So everybody's in the mood. My committee, that's what we came up with as a topic and a suggestion. So I guess we're feeling the love. And I extend it to all of you as well. The other, I have a couple of maintenance issues being in my district. I brought this up a few times this year. I have tree lights. I have 6 homes that face out on Sun Lakes Boulevard, and I've brought this up a number of times. There's 6 accent lights on our trees that are not lit. Marcus said they would look into it. It still has not happened. I've reported it 8 times, so perhaps we can get some action on that, because it's very dark along that green strip leading up to the main gate. Thank you. And the other issue I have is I sent a memo on 6/24 to Chris Mitchell in reference to our parking areas, our guest parking. I have 18 in my district that have no lines. The slurry coat is just disintegrated, and I was told this would be completed by the end of the year. In November, when I brought it up our delegate meeting, I said it would happen by April. So I wonder if we could get some clarity on dates and districts so we're aware, because we have new residents coming in. My people are complaining. It's just they're in terrible, terrible shape. I'm not so much concerned about the driveways. I have 4 or 5 main streets in my district, but the parking lots are really terrible, very ghetto looking. My comment. And one other issue, I don't know if this would come under new business, but I feel that the 1 minute on our agenda for our delegates, since this is our meeting, the voice for our community and our residents, that it's just not sufficient. The last meeting we had, everyone went over 3 minutes, pretty much.
Okay.
And again, I would like to bring it up perhaps as a vote, as a suggestion, that we have this better representation. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Dolores Doherty, District 4. Well, Jim was talking about lights not being replaced in his district. I wanted to thank Mark, because I had gone to his office and talked to him about lights that were out along the pathway as you go into the multi-purpose room and by the pool. There was at least 5 or 6. And I noticed that they've been replaced, so thank you, Mark.
Good afternoon, everybody. Dave Miller, District 5. I just want to point out to my fellow delegates that in this month's newsletter, you should be writing about the election process. I direct you to page 9 of Lifestyles magazine, where it gives you a schedule of events. The Meet the Candidates Forum is on March 5th on Wednesday, while our delegate meeting is on March 6th. So just want to let you guys know. And also on page 11, Beverly Simmons has an article on the Did You Know area about the rules change, and it's very important that you convey to your residents what that's about and have them vote. Well, don't have them vote, just let them know what's going on. That's it, thank you.
Fran Hanratty, District 7. I'm sitting for Gail, I like to say that our next, our regular breakfast lunch is at 11:30 on the third Thursday of the month. So this lunch will be on February 20th at 11:30, as I said. And our next event for District 7 is on Saturday, March 22nd at the North Clubhouse. And it is, the theme is Mr. Potato in celebration of St. Patrick's Day. More information will be on our newsletter coming up next week. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Good afternoon. I'm Troy. I'm from District 8. I'm the alternate sitting in for Kathy. I do have several questions I want to present to the board. These are from my residents in the area, and a lot of them are not sure exactly what's going on. They haven't been to any of the meetings. I tried to encourage them to go. This is my first meeting going to, but let me go ahead with the questions, and hopefully someone here will be able to answer those questions. They may be redundant to some, but let me go ahead and get these questions out. Most of them are concerned about the patrolling in the area. They want to know exactly when the patrols come around to the areas, or if there's patrolling at all in the areas. The other question is, they're concerned about the fees being increased, the HOA fees. For the last 3 years, they've went up, and they're really concerned about that. A lot of individuals have come to me stating that they are at the point where they cannot afford to do this every single year. So if that can be addressed. The question I want to know is, I'm in the process of painting my home, and I just need to know what colors I can do my home. Okay, and the final one is, if a resident is in violation of a code here within the community, where does that money go once that money is collected, if they're in violation? That's another. And also one thing, I'm out every morning at 3 a.m. walking, and I've noticed at the gate, gate 3, the lock is jammed. I have to twist continuously in order to get that lock open. So if you can get that replaced, that would help. That's it.
Jean Dobson, District 10. There's not much going on in our district yet, but we do have a social coming up April 11th. Were you going to respond to? Sure. Go.
Okay, I will try to respond to those. Patrolling in the area, when do they come around? It's hard to be specific. There is a patrol. There's one patrol that goes around. It's hard to be specific on when exactly, because if they start patrolling and then they got called to go somewhere, then they might come back. It's hard for me to tell you exactly what time they're going to be any which place, but there is one patrol that does go around, and that one patrol is 24 hours a day.
And when they're patrolling, do they go through each section?
They should be covering the entire community.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, they may not, the whole community may not get covered in one night, only because, you know, they may get called to different places and then they have to come back and restart. So it's hard to cover all 26 miles in one night when you're getting called, pulled away. But, so you can let them know there is one 24 hours a day that does patrol around. Secondly, increase in HOA fees. That is very hard to say yes or no, they're ever going to go up or not go up or what, because As you know, we go through a budget process every year. The board meets not only with themselves, with management, with department heads, they also meet with the finance committee and anybody else who wants to give input onto the budget. And they have budget sessions set up, workshops set up, and that's the kind of time where they go over and look at what the year's expenses are going to be. And unfortunately, you know, your dues are directly affected by what the expenses are going to be. If the expenses are projected to be higher, that causes an increase in the HOA fees. There's a lot of things that the board is looking at to reduce expenses and to increase revenue. That way, any kind of HOA increase is nullified or, you know, kept to a minimum. But again, that's kind of the process. So I encourage your residents that are interested in and concerned to definitely look, and when the budget workshops come out, to definitely attend those. That way they can see what's going on and they can have a chance to have some input.
Now, where's that information?
They will be coming up. Normally those take place in the later summer. You're going to look at August, September for those workshops to come about. And they'll be put out. The board announces them at their board meeting, as well as they'll be on the website. And the lifestyles. Yes, thank you, Barbara. Okay, in violation, where do those fees go? Again, that's kind of directly related to the budget. There's a line items in the budget that is other revenues. Okay, things like the contract with Golf, you know, Carlos Carts, that's in the other revenues. The fines, when a homeowner gets fined, it goes right back to the association. So it goes into that other revenues, and I mean, not that it's a large amount, you guys, it's not gonna be offset in dues by dollars, you know, it's gonna be offset in dues by cents, you know, and maybe a couple cents is what it does. Really, it's just a small amount, but it does go directly back into the operating fund of the association.
Okay.
Gate 3, Mark already took that note, we'll work on that for you.
And the colors?
The house colors.
Okay.
Paint colors. That you need, if you can talk to the second you're looking for. I'm so sorry. I've taken notes and so I missed that part. Can you repeat your question on that
the
one?
colors of the home. What color can I paint my home?
Oh, that came out. The palettes are at the office. There's a pamphlet that you can get. It's also on the website. If you just go, I believe it's under planning compliance. There's forms underneath there. There's a paint palette in there. And that gives you all the colors from the different companies. Okay. But also, if you go to the administration office, we can set you up and give you a pamphlet that has all the colors.
And can you get that gate fixed?
Yeah, Mark's already taken note on it, so we'll work on it. Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, Jim.
Thank you. I just want to address number one. Sir, 2 years ago, we had attempted break-ins in my home and 3 other homes. They were apprehended. And since that's happened, security comes around. They put a sensor over to the right of my home. They come faithfully every single shift, 3 times a day. They have their clicker, they click it, and I see them every single day. I watch them. So good things are happening.
Is that just for your home?
It's for District 3. We're out by the road.
You guys, I will say there, where Jim lives, it's right along Country Club. That fence is very, very short right there. We've had issues with that in the past, so yes, there is a checkpoint there for Securitas to check because of the area, because that wall is so short, and we've had people jump that wall so many times in the past.
And it works fine. We've been great ever since. Thank you. Thank you to Securitas.
Yeah. Is it my turn now?
No, just shut your mic off for a minute so I may speak. Oh, it didn't, okay, great. Troy, when someone asks a question about our dues and the increase, I like to go over, and it is available where you can get a list where you can see that for many years, the dues only went up $1, $2. 1 year we got a $60 rebate. But also if you take the dues and you remove the cable, that's what your dues are. And that's like $325. $325 are your HOA dues. The rest is cable. Because if cable wasn't offered to us, we would be paying about $150. So it's easier to absorb 3 1/4 than what it would be if you had to pay the $150 for cable. So I try to break it out a little bit. Okay.
Well, what about a different alternate cable company? I know Spectrum's pretty high right now, but that would definitely help.
Hi, I'm Jean Dobson, District 10, and I think I was saying that there's not a whole lot going on in our district yet, but we do have a new social group that's planning our first social of the year on April 11th, and it will be an auction for our first fundraiser for the year. I had my first ugly encounter, not really ugly, but strange encounter by email with one of my new residents yesterday. I was going to pass it out to you folks. I included my new residents in a newsletter with their address so my other residents could welcome them to the district and, hi, how are you? Welcome, maybe have coffee. And one of the residents was just over the top. She really admonished me for sharing her personal information, being her name and her address, that she wanted to live anonymously and no one should ever make any attempt to approach her. So I thought it was rather strange that she moved into a district or to a community that is so friendly and welcoming to new residents and so many opportunities to make friends and the activities that we have. So she's an anomaly, I guess, for most of the residents here. One comment to administration, which I've made before several months ago. I find it awkward that we don't get the meeting packet until, for example, yesterday. I think it would be so much more helpful if those, especially the minutes, which happened a month ago, if they couldn't be sent out to us earlier. I didn't have time to even read the minutes from the previous meeting, so I think it would be helpful if they could get them done faster.
Good afternoon. I'm Jess Ocampo, District 6. Maybe I should talk about my district this time. Basically, I use my newsletter and get my alternate delegate, my EPOP manager, and the sub-association president to write a message on the newsletter. And we are quite fortunate that we have the help of Jason and Mark to address all issues regarding the street, the lighting, and it pays off to have a substation. So I'm quite blessed being the district delegate of 6. That's it.
Good afternoon. Somebody's isn't off. As I was saying, good afternoon. I'm Denny Rugenstein filling in for my boss. I have comments, they're positive, so hopefully they won't offend anyone. A big thank you to the 4 homes who sent residents, the residents showed up at the welcome home. That's what I wanted to say. Did it come out? The second positive comment is that I am very pleased to report that John Santillan is the director of our recycling program, and he continues to add to our budget significantly. So thank you, John.
In Hereford District 12, I'd like to thank Michelle for the welcome home. It was wonderful. And I think this is the first time that I've had so many of my new ones to come out, even though I was missing one. But I do appreciate that. The meal was great. Okay, District 12 and 18 on March the 7th on a Friday, we're doing a St. Patty Spud Bake, which is a baked potato bake with all the fixings. And we should have a lot of fun, especially with it being St. Patrick's Day month. So I'd like to thank Anita for joining in with us again. And also, I'm jumping in on also, I think it was about the pavements. And there's holes across the street from me where the street is dividing. There's chunks of the blacktop out. I sent a picture. I've heard no response. So when you get some updates, would you please let me know? Because it's strictly across the street from me. So anyone can go in and twist their foot on it if they're walking the street at dark. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Janice Rice, District 13. I also want to compliment the Welcome Home. I had 3 new couples, and we had a blast. Really learned a lot about them, and it was fun, and dinner was good. Also, District 13 did their Fill the Cupboard, and we had a food drive. It was supposed to be a taco bar, but then it rained, and things didn't come out exactly the way it should, but people did drop off their goods and monetary donations, and we took a very large amount of items to Banning Senior Center, and they were quite thankful for it. I do want to put on my EPAP hat now. I received several phone calls this past month about people who had fallen in the streets. One of them was knocked over by a trash can. Another one tripped in the wet. Let's do neighbor watching neighbor. I know that we can't be outside with our binoculars, but maybe remind your zone captains or people just to kind of keep your eyes open so we're aware of our neighbors. This one person laid in the street for quite a while, apparently, and I don't know her condition at this time. And then Jeannie, my alternate delegate now, since we switched hats, she is in the hospital again. She is in good spirits, but she is fighting an infection. So that is, one more thing, back to EPAP. Please join us as Candace said, on next Thursday. You will learn more about those EPAP evacuation maps that went into your delegate newsletters. They're colored for a reason, and Valerie Almadares will be there to talk about evacuations and codes that come on the other maps and things like that. And then the real good one is Banning Utilities will also be there, hopefully to answer some of the questions about how things are not happening. So that is what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Bay Mercado, District 15. We have had a quiet period, one of relaxation and centering. And since the sun is starting to come out after the rain, we're going to be becoming more active, and I am planning an event for our district either in March or April, late March or early April. More to come.
Hi, Tammy Alexander, alternate delegate for District 16. We don't have any new concerns or news to report, so everything is good in 16.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Anita Lawrence, District 18. I'd also like to comment on the last Welcome Home. I had 9 new people in District 18, and I think there was about 65 altogether. As delegates, we get a lot of complaints. We see a lot of negativity on the social pages here in Sun Lakes, and it's just so refreshing to meet and talk with people that have moved into our community that are absolutely just thrilled to be here. And I think we all just need to remember, you know, it takes a village, and we're all in this together, and be appreciative of the place that you live in, because it's a pretty darn good place. The other thing I'd like to say is I hope that there's many District 18 residents that can join District 12 for the Spud Bake on March 7th. I'll be putting out my newsletter over the weekend, and the sign-up sheet is in that for you to sign up for the Spud Bake. I'm still on the hunt for an EPAP coordinator for our district to replace Pat Hoferer, who has asked to step down after many years. If you're interested in joining the District 18 team, please contact me, or I'm going to start knocking on doors. And it is District 18's turn to fill the cupboard for the Banning Senior Center in March. I just wanted to mention it a little early so we can start getting things together, non-perishable food items. Also take monetary donations, checks made out to the Banning Senior Center. So look for more information in your March newsletter. Thank you.
Marcia Midget, District 19. Been pretty quiet in my district this last month, and I was a little bit out of pocket, so I don't have a lot to report today, but I'm going to piggyback on the welcome home. It was very well attended, which was nice, and I had a lot of questions about the restaurant and lounge, so it was great to have everybody there, and pushing the really looking forward to people getting out and come enjoying the food and beverage, whether it be the sandwich, the lounge, or the restaurant when it's open. It's really important that we support that particular amenity. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Kate Reed, District 20. I had a question, just as Jean was talking about keeping information, somebody wanting their information private. I have access to my homeowners and their addresses and phone numbers and emails. In other organizations I've been in, they said, nah, we don't put that out. I have heard that our district has put out a phone list to our district residents. I am reluctant to do so, but I don't know if there's any hard and fast rule about that. Any opinions about that?
Kate, you're absolutely right. It's becoming more and more prevalent that homeowners, Gene, just like you said, an anomaly, but that anomaly is becoming more and more. We do have homeowners that are not wanting to be involved in a lot. You are right to be hesitant. That could violate somebody's privacy, and they can come after you for it. You as delegates, now granted, when I say that, it's not like they're coming it's through the association. But guys, that's what you got to be careful about. I know District 10, what they've done is they've put out, please send me your info if you want it to be shared. And that's, Gene, I believe that's how you've gotten your email list. That might be the way to go, to put something out in your newsletter saying, hey, I would like to get a community directory going or something. If you would like to be included in this, please send me your info. That might be the way to go. You as delegates are given that information. But yeah, you're right. You shouldn't necessarily be, freely handing it out to your residents.
I included in every newsletter, it's the same information. If you want to be included, please contact me. I don't reach out to them to beg them, but it's there every newsletter, because every newsletter there could be a new resident that might have missed it, or somebody would remember from the past, oh, I guess I should let somebody know that I want to be included. So they do contact me. Please add me to your list. It also works for the internal email blast that I send out. I don't repeat what administration sends. They're my own things that I think they only apply to Fairway Villas, to District 10, if somebody has something that they think is important, but they reach out to me with their information. And that person is not, I looked up later after the fact, not in the Sun Lakes directory. So I guess, I wondered if she was maybe in the witness protection program or something. I don't know.
I did find, when I called on the Great American Shakeout thing with EPAP, I had to call one of my zones because my captain was not there. And several of the numbers were incorrect. Either they didn't answer, they were disconnected, the person didn't live there anymore. So, you know, how accurate is it? I don't know. My second item is that we are skipping right over Valentine's Day, and District 20 is holding a St. Patrick's Day Get Your Irish On dinner, and it will be on Thursday, March 20th at 4:30, corned beef and cabbage dinner. Renee Rogenaro will be there for entertainment. We'll have a little dancing. All of Sun Lakes is invited. The flyer has been published on Good Day Sun Lakes, and it will be again. We invite all of you to come and have a little bit of the Irish. Everybody's Irish, right? In March. Thank you.
Thank you. Bill McDade, District 22 alternate. Mike Volz is our district delegate, and he's going to be out of pocket for probably 3 months or more. He owns a corporation that handles hazardous waste, and he has been called along with his whole team that he employs, and they'll be up at the Altadena area is where he'll be at. So he's going to be out of pocket for some time. So, but everything else is fine with District 22. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Charlie London, delegate for District 23. We had a death of our social committee chairperson, Jerry Munley. A lot of you probably know him. He was with the computer company, the club here. He also helped through his years here with the safety committee in our homeowners association here. Anyway, I want to thank all the residents for turning out. It was a great celebration of life last week we had, and his wife Carol really appreciates all the help our district gave her. We filled the cabinet. I had 37 boxes of food, checks, $200 worth of Stater Brothers gift cards, and my back of my SUV was full, and a complete long-ton pickup truck delivered 37 boxes, like I said, they were very thankful and pleased with what we brought them. Our recycling committee ended up a little short this month with $155. We gave that to Carol's Kitchen in, I gotta think of it. No, Carol Aubaugh's group. Faith in Action, yes. We've been dividing every other month of our recycling awards or money that we receive from that. The week before was, or the month before was $305. So we've been averaging around a little over $2,000 a year in recycling. If anybody wants to start a recycling program in their district, feel free to call me, and we will try to help you get established. I have about 10 people that help me out, and I have 3 volunteers with pickup trucks, and we usually fill up a pickup truck in a couple of cars, and it only takes a couple of hours on trash night to pick them up. In a couple hours, we get out of there in an hour because we have a little system going, so we break that down very good. But if you're interested in doing that, you can give me a call, and we'll see if we can help you out with that. Otherwise, our district is, we're going to have a dinner in April. We'll call it a spring fling or something along those lines, and that's what the social committee is looking forward to. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got for our district. Thank you.
Okay, Charlie, first I just want to say, amazing job. What a great district to be doing all of that community work. I applaud you. Thank you so much. We'll applaud.
Let's hear it from everybody.
After listening to many golf members about not having the house account available, the comments that I have been receiving is we are a country club. And right now it doesn't feel like one. And so they asked for me to bring it up again to the master board to please reinstate the house account for golf. I understand that other things might be done with the restaurant. For those who don't pay, then they don't play golf. But many of us do pay and pay in a timely manner. I would like us to get back the country feeling and be able to charge for golf. You're going to answer me.
I am. Sun Lakes is a country club. It's a wonderful country club, and that's important. One of the things that we were working with Compass Hospitality on is bringing that back. The POS system that they're looking at implementing will accept resident ID cards for payment, and once that's implemented, house accounts will be coming back.
Okay, great. I don't know if that includes golf or if it's Compass is going to keep it in just the restaurant separate. I think we might be talking to different issues. This is not to be debated right now. You guys can discuss it. I can move on.
We have discussed it. That does need to be determined.
Okay. We were able to play our first pitch and putt for 2025 on Tuesday. We had about 30 players, which was amazing. We're going to alternate 1 month 9 holes, 1 month 18 holes. It's $5 to play. After we play golf, we come up to the restaurant, we give awards, and we eat and drink. February 28th, I'm not putting an emphasis on anything. February 28th, we'll be putting on a night putting contest. Sign-up sheets will be in the pro shop, and that's $10. That's a lot of fun. We get a lot of people out for that, and so I ask you to join us. A few weeks ago, we had a fire behind our home, and it was on the other side of the wall. And as we're watching the fire spread along the wall towards us, in other words, it was going west, a homeless man jumped the wall, and then he seemed to walk along the wall to monitor what was going on. Mike Romero from Securitas was there and escorted him off of property. If you go on the 10 freeway east, it looks like the dump. There is so much trash. There are several tents. There's graffiti on the wall. And I think what I know is graffiti is a message to them, to outside homeless, I think, and I don't want to use the wrong terminology, but I know that graffiti is a message. If you go down past gate 6, it looks like a dump. So I ask the master board, please do something to help us get that cleaned out. Also along the wall behind holes 2, 3, and 4, I want to say 2, 3, and 4, the brush now on the other side of the wall is coming over the wall. And it needs to be cut back. It needs to be, because that's fire. And I want to say, it seemed silly at the time, but the golf course maintenance crew came out and watered the trees near that fire so that the fire from the embers would not catch on the trees on the golf course. So thank golf maintenance for me, because they did a great job. That's all I have. Just need some help.
Linda, I'm going to address that because I talked to Jeff Platt yesterday. We have a long meeting, and it is, excuse me, it is Caltrans, Union Pacific, and the city. It is going to take some time. It should be done hopefully by the end of this month, that all of that trash will be taken out. They're going to cut the brush back. They know because of fire. And so they are going to take care of that. They're going to paint the wall. So a lot of that will be taken care of. So I had a meeting with Jeff Platt yesterday, and he's going to have a crew go out there, but they have to get permission, and there's many entities that you have to, to go through before you can just go in there and start cleaning everything up, and it doesn't belong to us.
Correct. I appreciate it, Michelle.
In March, District 21 will have the first event that we sponsored during the course of the year, And it is also on a St. Patrick's Day theme on the March 15th in the South Clubhouse. Other than that, that's about all we're doing in our district. And so we'll move to the next item, and that would be, does anyone want to bring forward any old business at this time? If there is none, we'll move to new business, and I believe we have a motion to move this meeting to a different date.
I have the motion that I was given, and I would like to have a motion made and seconded so that we can discuss the possibility of moving our district delegate assembly meeting to the day after the master board meeting, and to have it start in 2026 because there is a conflict. So moving it to, in January 2026 to the day after the master board meeting, I would like to have a motion and a second so we may discuss and get your thoughts on this process. Any discussion, please?
Is there a second to the motion? Yes. We have a second. Yes. Okay, now it's open for discussion.
Quick question, will we start that this year, or would we go to January of 2026?
It would start January 26.
Okay.
Yes, Barbara.
I don't see a need for us to change our meeting date. We used to meet on the second Thursday of every month, and we changed it to the first Thursday so that we could get the newsletters out earlier in the month. I think that should be sufficient. I don't think we need to change it again.
Can you shut yours off?
Kate Reed, District 20. May I speak? I am in favor of this motion because today is the 6th of February, and if our newsletters don't go out, even if we got them done tonight and got them to the printer and got them out tomorrow, they're not getting them until Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We've already used up 1 week of the events, and we don't often have the events planned for the next month. So, you know, I stay up many hours late trying to put everything together to get it to the printer and all of that after this meeting. So I am in favor of changing the meeting to the day after the master board meeting. I think it would benefit us in the long run.
So I just want to take a moment doing this. Cal did some research, and we go from a newsletter from 8 days up to 15 days before we get the information out. Some districts get it out before our district delegate meeting. So there's inconsistency. And I think if we have the board meeting and then the delegate meeting, and then we all get our newsletters out in a timely manner, we will all have consistency with the messaging that needs to be out.
Jane?
I agree with you, Kate. I think the change makes sense. My only question, and it's not a big deal, is that we would not have the master board comments to add, because as it is now, even though there's I think this last time it was pretty late getting to us. So those master board comments would fall over to the following month, but that's just a minor hitch in the plan, I think. It really makes sense to have our meeting following the board meeting. I'm in favor of that.
Just to mention that, I think Bob, Cal and I talked to you about this, and you supported moving the meeting, and you would get the message from the board out in a timely manner, so we would have it, say, possibly by Sunday, so our letters could go on Monday.
Yes, it would not be available for your meeting, though. because the meeting would be
Right.
the very next day.
Of course.
We would still be preparing, that, you would receive it within a few days.
Yeah. Is that okay, Jim? Do we call for a vote?
Okay. Anyone else want to speak? Can I call a vote? All in favor of the motion?
Raise your hand.
13? That passes. The motion passes. We'll move to the next item on the agenda. That would be the other one Linda's going to read.
Again, the same procedure. I'll read this, and if somebody could make the motion in second for discussion would be great. Following the wildfires in Los Angeles area, and Altadena, I guess that's part of Los Angeles area, everyone is keenly concerned with fire safety and prevention. If a wildfire ever reached Sun Lakes, one of the best methods to deter its spreading is to prevent embers from entering a home through its roof vents. Our houses do not typically have fire screening secured to the roof vents. As it is a community-wide issue, it might be recommended that the Master Board investigate a contract to install fire screen on all roof vents for every home, handling the project at the Master Board level to deter these embers from getting in. Or the Master Board could hire we could hire individual contractors. This would all have to be worked out, but we would need to make the recommendation to the Master Board to look for a fire prevention company that might install the fire screens. I would need a motion and a second for discussion.
I move for discussion.
Issue is those open vents in our garages. We have at least 3 in each garage, and I know I put a screen up in mine. I can still get the light through, but I think that'd be a great idea for the garages. Thank you.
Marcia?
Okay, my concern is, I think the idea is to see if we could get a contract and have somebody come out and do it for all the houses. The individual homes are individually owned, they're not under the association, so I'm not sure that we would be able to have the association pay for it.
It's going to be difficult. As you know, if the association goes out and finds a company and says, hey, community, this is the company that we suggest you guys use, and they screw something up or screw over a resident, guess who that resident's coming after now? They're coming after the association for saying, hey, you told us to use this guy. Same reason why if somebody calls the office and says, hey, who do you suggest for roofing? Or I said, the best thing to do is probably look at your lifestyles. I know there's a lot of companies in there that advertise. Because I am not going to say, hey, you should use Bell Roofing, or you should use Roofline, or Ridge Line, or whatever. Kind of along the same thing, Linda, we can always look to see what's out there. I know the condos, we're looking at it, because the association owns those buildings. So it's a little different there. With that, what we can do is, with the subs looking at that, obviously we're going to be contacting some people. I can always say, hey, you want to take an ad out in the lifestyle and put that in there. There's that possibility.
I'd like to say, and I talked to Cal last night, the Paves, the Emeralds, and the Trillions, we're so tightly enclosed. We don't have roof vents. We have a pipe that automatically goes into our air conditioning unit because it circulates our air in our homes several times during the day. I don't even need a screen because it's going down a metal pipe. It's never going to go anywhere. So personally, I don't need it. And I think the suggestion of all of us find, if that's important to you, find your own company to do that, because it will come back on the association.
Yeah, it will, and maybe that's great, Linda, that you just said that. That might be definitely something for, I don't know if I can talk with Beverly for a Did You Know, or even EPAP doing an article, or something, or safety to say, hey, this might be a way to help prevent something, that might be a good idea.
Jim?
I endorse the project, and I'm wondering if perhaps it would be beneficial in support of the Fire Safe program that Michelle talked to us about earlier. It might help us qualify for that lower fire insurance premium in future years.
One more, Jim.
Jim?
Thank you. I was just going to suggest, we have those open fireplaces, and if you don't close the vent, it's a perfect area for those cinders to get in. So every house has a chimney. So just a thought. Thank you.
Michelle?
I'm just a wealth of information here. So the FireWise community, it addresses that. So if you participate in this, which we will need to do as a community to be a community-wise or a FireWise community, he is going to give us all kinds of suggestions to fireproof safe your house. Screens are part of it. He will give you companies to go through. So I would say let's wait until we hear for what Captain has to say and go from there. It's next month on March 4th. Hopefully there's no fires between now and then, but he's going to have all that information for us, and we can protect ourselves going through his policies and procedures. Thank you.
So listening to the comments, I would recommend that we table this until after the meeting. All in favor of tabling it, please raise your hand.
Okay, the motion is tabled. Okay. And now, yes, Jim.
Thank you. Jim Nickel again. I brought up in the very beginning about extending the minutes, and you can see by today that all of us went over 3 minutes. Can we make that official on our minutes that we are 3 minutes?
I'm sure you noticed I didn't stop anybody
Do we need to
either.
pass
I'm
that?
going to let you express yourself. Yes, but we'll put 3 minutes on the next agenda. No problem.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Woo-hoo.
Hey. Yeah. Okay, now we turn to the podium if there are any members in the audience that would like to speak.
No political.
Well, guess who? Michelle Walter, chairperson for the Welcome Home and Marketing Committee. I want to thank everybody for the kind words about the Welcome Home, but I want to just give a couple of information on this. Our Welcome Home was on January 23rd, which seemed to be a huge success. Our new homeowners were very impressed with the setup and how delicious the dinner was. However, I must say, as delegates, you gave me 65 new homeowners. 12 of those homeowners did not show. Just not showing up is unacceptable. I know there are circumstances that people get sick and cannot attend. However, just not attending is truly not fair. I also understand there were some concerns from some of the delegates who were able to participate in the dinner. I had 12 openings for dinners, so I asked some of the clubs and groups that were there to stay and have dinner with us. This included Don Day and his wife, who had a table, and Judy Jones, Young at Heart, and many others to have dinner with us. It doesn't make sense to pay, for us to pay for the 12 openings when no one is there to have dinner that I've already paid for. There was also a concern that someone's spouse was able to participate. I make that judgment call based on what is available. This does not, I repeat, not make this a precedent. I work very hard to make sure that this is inclusive, even if some of our residents have not been invited due to COVID. We want to make sure that every homeowner has the same opportunity to attend these Welcome Home dinners. I hope this explains to the delegates in attendance why I have certain people come and join us for dinner. And I'm just going to go through this real quick because I already sent you the stats. Home sales from January 1st through January 31st, active or coming soon, 59. 11 condos, prices $320 to $397. 48 homes, prices from $281,200 to $580. In escrow, 2 condos, prices from $249 to $265. 17 homes, prices from $326,250 to $559. Closed escrows were 11. 1 condo, price at $324,600. 10 homes, prices from $346 to $550. So if you take our 11 times 2310, that's $25,400 that went into our reserve account. We have 3 homes that have closed in February so far. That is $385 to $590. And I did send these stats to you, so you'll have them. Thank you.
Michelle? B.
I have to look at you. I want to commend you for the Welcome Home. It's been a fantastic program. My constituents who come to that are very much impressed with how welcoming everyone is. I was actually jealous not to be there, and I will not miss the next one. I'm going to crash the party.
Good.
But thank you so much for your work. And I also think if you're going to invite people, there's a reason, because at the end of that, the people who never are the delegates or who never come as new people, they get to experience what we experience as delegates with our new residents, and they get to have their eyes open as to how caring and how interested and excited these people are to come into our community. So I commend your program, and I look forward to next quarter.
Thank you. You know, it's really fun. What I really like is that everybody gives why they came to Sun Lakes, and some of the things are just heartwarming, and for me, it's how we came to Sun Lakes. So I really appreciate everybody saying that it's a good program, and it is a good program. Dolores?
Michelle, I want to thank you because my husband was one of the ones that was at the last Welcome Home dinner. We've lived here, in the end of July will be 8 years, and he's never been able to attend because he still works. So thank you for letting him come.
Absolutely. And I would only do that, I have to tell you, I would only do that if I had room available, because Dolores did not have him on the list. So, but I had 12 openings, and why have the dinners go back? So that's why I make it open to the people that have attended. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sue Savage. It is my understanding the Delegate Code of Ethics requires every delegate to be non-political. Does this include the delegate chair, who is the delegate for District 21? As chairman of the delegates, you have used my name, Sue Savage, writing that I broadcast inaccurate claims about the integrity of the board and upset the citizens. You state you present the truth because you were in a meeting with the attorney. You write, we represent the board to our residents, so it's imperative that we get it right. Truth can dispel anxiety. The question here is, do you represent the board or do you represent the residents to get it right? You request us to bring your concerns to me. My concern is at least twice you have written my name to all the delegates claiming I am inaccurate and spreading rumors. At least twice you have used the chairman of the board delegate's position to talk about a resident. You insisted the delegates adopt a code of ethics policy regarding politics. Are you above that code of ethics? Does a chairperson set an example? You write, while I am squashing rumors, I hear that I'm running for a seat on the board in the April election. Nope, this is not a rumor. You applied for a seat on the board to fill Randy Robbins' vacant position. You were interviewed along with 11 other candidates. You did not win because the board did not select you. Could you please stop using my name and the name of any other resident to make disparaging remarks? Thank you in advance. I appreciate you listening to me.
Steve Nee, Sunrise Drive. I went to the T last week of the board where Gary Burko, it was the T, I forget what it was called. Jason, you were there. The Master Board T, thank you, on a Monday. My wife and I went. Anyway, Gary mentioned that he was looking at you were looking at the contract between Frontier and Spectrum. And I asked Gary, I said, you are aware if you go with Frontier, there is no channel 97. There is no TV channel with Frontier. He was not aware of that. So I hope the rest of the board is aware of that. Frontier does not offer a television channel. And the second thing I've noticed, I don't spend too much time on the computer, but there is this website called Nextdoor, and it's the pass area website. And constantly, over and over, I read things about how bad Frontier is on their service. People are canceling their contracts with Frontier because the service is atrocious. We've been with Spectrum for 22 years here, and their service is outstanding. 7 days a week, you call, they'll be out the next day if there's a problem. So I just want to say Spectrum is so much better with service than Frontier, and the Channel 97 could be a factor.
Hi, everybody. Lee Stone. I wanted to follow up on what Jason was talking earlier about the new Facebook page that's out there so that you can put it in your newsletters and let your folks know who are Facebook savvy. It is called SLCC-restaurant/lounge and recreation news. And what's going in here is anything that has to do with food and beverage and recreation. So all of the Valentines, all of the happy hours, all of the entertainment, all of the concerts. I just posted the spring craft fair. And if it's current or coming up, it's in the featured section. So you don't even have to page through everything. So once again, it's a new Facebook page. And yeah, Facebook, not a web page. If you can let your folks know, it's a little easier way to find out what's going on than trying to find it on Channel 97 or Good Day Sun Lakes. Yes?
District 20. This is for Sun Lakes information activities. Does it not, the individual districts?
No.
No.
It is only what comes out from food and beverage and recreation. Yes, ma'am.
And I would like to thank Lee for putting this whole thing together. She was on the committee all of 5 days. And next thing you know, we have a Facebook page that is devoted specifically for the restaurant, lounge, and recreation because it's so much easier to find that particular thing. So thank you, Lee, for putting that together.
You're welcome. If anybody has any questions, you can see me in the back afterwards.
Okay, if that concludes member comments, will someone make a motion to adjourn, please? So moved.
Second.
And we shall go home.
Okay.